the state of the aging school infrastructure in America. It is truly a national travesty. And too many of these schools squander precious natural resources, but more importantly, they diminish the health and performance of our children, our most precious resource. But Global Green has been a leader in creating healthy and high-performance green classrooms for students and teachers in Los Angeles and in San Francisco and throughout California, and it is a key component of Global Green's rebuilding of New Orleans.
5 years ago, Global Green managed to convince one of the world's most complex bureaucracies, the Los Angeles United School District, to implement a progressive school construction policy and direct $15 billion towards building green schools. Global Green later helped secure a $100 million bond measure in California to ensure every new school that is built in the state can have the financial resources to be built green.
And earlier this year, Global Green launched its National Green School Initiative to educate and activate all American citizens, just like you, to help green our country's schools. Now, the goal to ensure that within a generation, all of our children will have the opportunity to learn only in high-performance, healthy classrooms.
5 years ago, Global Green knew that in order to succeed with the LA Unified School District, they needed a partner that was committed to community, to children, to innovative new ideas, and a desire to green the future. They found that partner in Wallis Annenberg and the Annenberg Foundation. The foundation understood the relationship between decaying school infrastructure and the educational performance of our students and teachers.
So the commitment and the leadership of the Annenberg Foundation, through both their own bold investment in education reform and through their $1 million grant over 5 years to Global Green, helped direct the LA Unified School District and its billions of dollars toward green school construction. Indeed, that is quite an impressive partnership. Now, Wallis Annenberg and the Annenberg Foundation are true visionaries, and they are interested and committed to striving to improve the well-being of individuals and communities throughout the entire world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2009 California Leadership Award is presented to Wallis Annenberg and the Annenberg Foundation.
And accepting on behalf of the Annenberg Foundation is the Managing Director, Dr. Leonard Aube. Mr. Leonard Aube.
Thank you. I can't tell you how pleased and humbled I am to accept this award on behalf of Wallis Annenberg and her fellow Annenberg Foundation directors. They being Lauren Bond, Charles Annenberg Weingarten, and Gregory Annenberg Weingarten. It's an honor to stand with Global Green, one of the most dynamic and effective champions of the planet. As many of you know, with its roots in publishing and broadcast media, the Annenberg Foundation was created in 1989 by the late Walter Ambassador Annenberg, and it was essentially a foundation that was developed to improve communication and advance the public well-being through improved communication. So we came relatively late to the environment, but year after year, study after irrefutable study, Wallis and her fellow directors discovered to invest the opportunities in green architecture and other emerging technologies, and began to enlist the support of many key individuals, including marine ecologists, land use managers, and in some cases, yes, even attorneys, to help them identify what a difference they might make as they moved into this uncharted territory for the foundation, especially within the fabric of Los Angeles. When we moved our operations to Los Angeles, it was an exciting time that a new multi-billion-dollar asset was moving into the region to make a difference here. So as they witnessed the dangerous disruption of our climate and the ways in which public consciousness finally turned from denial to determination, as they saw how local waters and watersheds had been sullied and how community action is helping to clean up California's coastline mile by mile, they realized as much as we need to improve communication, we really need to start communicating about saving this earth. So among the generations, among different cultures and nations, and among ourselves right here in California, So the state that's always been a leader on these issues can be a model for solutions around the world. We realize that a foundation like ours, one of the largest grant-making organizations in the country, can't hope to solve problems of this scope on its own. So the board's leadership got involved. They got in the game. And the other, I think, a determinant decision for us to support innovative approaches and visionary strategies to address the environment, particularly those that are engaged by Global Green. I have to say, when we moved into this area, Matt Peterson, I want to say Walker Wells, and some of the other colleagues at Global Green were among the very first environmental leaders who came to visit us. So we're humbled by the advancements of Global Green, the contributions of the other honorees tonight, and for that we also want to salute you and thank you for your contributions. Wallis is incredibly proud of the support for Global Green, particularly for the work that they did to tackle really difficult, very challenging work on policy reform. It's very difficult, but the work and their commitment helped to leverage, as we've heard, millions of dollars, later billions of dollars, so that every new LA public school will now be made to environmental building standards that really help students become high achievers. She's proud that another Annenberg grant to help support the work of Global Green to study the potential for solar power, the residual effects of that investment led to millions of additional dollars in the budget for solar installations, including the training of young people. It also paved the way for a grant to Homeboy Industries to train former gang members with new skills to include, well, and those of you that know Father Greg at Homeboy, he's a remarkable human being, but to provide employment skills in this promising field. And as we heard, from helping Heal the Bay educate young people, to the new creation of the Annenberg Community Beach House just down the ramp, to converting a former paint factory of all things in Gloucester, Massachusetts into a marine science lab for scientists and young people alike, and for Lauren Barnes' remarkable Not a Cornfield project a couple of years ago, which transformed that industrial brownfield, a 32-acre brownfield, into a living piece of art right in the heart of Chinatown. And now Charlie and Gregory are continuing the work of the foundation by connecting people online, major conservation programs throughout the world, including land conservation programs at the base of Mount Kilimanjaro, and providing additional access to arts and human services around the world. So from this condensed portrait of the Annenberg family's work, you can see that for Wallis and the other directors, their philanthropy is incredibly personal. Their giving is an extension of who they are as citizens and the values that they hold as a grandmother and for her children as parents of school-age children. The Annenberg's philanthropy is often defined by taking risks and standing up for what's right. Recently, like our decision to join the ranks for those who stood up against building a toll road through the 5th most attended state park in California. And on some days, the work can indeed resemble social activism. Because of the considerable size of the endowment of the Annenberg Foundation, people often associate the foundation as a destination for money. But that's a serious misconception. Wallis and the other directors think about the foundation in a much broader and far more important context. They see the foundation as a source for collaboration, a source for group learning, incubating new ideas, and trying to tackle the most complex and vexing challenges in our society today. Perhaps most importantly, though, the Annenberg Foundation stewards the foundation, grant by grant, as a vehicle for investing in leadership and human potential. And so it's no wonder that when we moved into this arena, among the first individuals that we met was Matt and his cohorts at Global Green, and frankly, it was love at first sight. Our involvement in the Annenberg Community Beach House also got Wallis thinking about the time that she used to spend at the Sand and Sea Club and on the beach in Santa Monica, taking her children for walks in the sand, reminding them about the deep interconnectedness of this tiny place on this massive earth that we share. So for her, this recognition tonight, her role as chairman of the board of the Annenberg Foundation has really brought her full circle. As a grandmother, as a mother, and one of the great philanthropists of our time, I know Wallis is deeply grateful for this award and in this recognition for the foundation's efforts to make a difference in the environmental arena. But we also accept this award tonight as encouragement to do even more for the environment in years to come, which we will do. We have a heck of a lot of work to do, and frankly, we're so lucky to do it in close partnership with friends and the board and the professional team at Global Green, and thank you very much for this recognition.